distinguished guests, faculty members, parents, and most importantly, the graduates of IB Class 2023. My name is Sanche.
And my name is Sophia.
And we welcome you to celebrate the graduation of Class 2023. As your host for today's event, we wanted to start off by congratulating the graduates for making it through 2 years of torture. Sorry, we meant education.
That's right, Class of 2023. That's right, Class of 2023. You've finally made it to the finish line. All that commitment, hard work, and procrastination has finally paid off. Let's give them a round of applause, please. All your dedication has finally paid off. You have achieved something truly special that only a select few can boast about. You should be proud of yourselves, and we are all here to celebrate your success.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the celebration because today is all about you. So, to all the graduates out there, I have to ask, how does it feel to be finally done with high school? Good. Are you excited for what's next? Are you happy to finally just get some sleep?
That's a good one, Sanche. As grade 11 students, we look up to the class of 2023 as our role models and inspiration. They have set the bar high for us and have shown us what it takes to succeed in the IB program. They have also taught us the importance of community, collaboration, and support. We are proud to be part of their journey, be it by participating in their psychology IAs. Now we know that wasn't easy, but you guys managed to do it anyway. You're like superheroes with a backpack full of textbooks instead of a cape.
As grade 11 students, we can only imagine what the class of 2023 has gone through to get here. We've heard all the rumors of all-nighters, existential crises, and even a few mental breakdowns.
Yeah, also about students sacrificing their social lives and even their sanity to make it through the program. But we're sure that all of you will agree that the end result was worth it.
Indeed. And we also know that our graduates here have learned some valuable lessons along the way, like how to manage their time, how to work collaboratively, and how to successfully run away from Miss Roy when you have IAs that are overdue.
They aren't the only ones running away from Miss Roy. I can relate to that as well, Sanche.
Sophia, she's right here.
Sorry, Miss Roy. As you move on to the next chapter of your lives, we encourage you to remember the lessons you have learned during your time in the IB program. Remember to persevere through challenges, to be open-minded, to think critically, and to be reflective learners.
We also wanted to remind you that this is not the end. In fact, it is just the beginning. You have a bright future ahead of you, filled with opportunities and possibilities, and we can't wait to see what you'll do next.
For now, let's kick off this celebration on an inspiring note, as we'd like to welcome Her Excellency Gabrielle Rush, the New Zealand High Commissioner to Singapore, our guest speaker for the night, who would like to say a few encouraging words.
In the words of New Zealand's Indigenous Māori people, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa, or simply greetings to everyone here this evening, to dignitaries, to parents, to staff, and most of all to you, the students. It's really an enormous privilege for me to speak with you this evening as you celebrate your graduation, significant life milestone, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of your journey as young adults. The fact of your graduation tells me that you've already learned some of life's harder lessons about the importance of hard work, of achieving your goals, striving for excellence, and the fact that you've reached this moment despite the impact of a global pandemic on your final school years tells me you know something about resilience, that you have the ability and have found strength to navigate through choppy seas. Many will tell you this next part of your journey is one of promise and excitement where your life stretches before you and you have every opportunity open to you to achieve all that you can and all that's required is dedication and hard work. And that's certainly the case. There's a lot of truth in that. And yet all around us at the moment are also messages of concern about surviving pandemics and the impact of climate change, war in Europe, tensions between great powers, and fears of disruption from things like AI. Closer to home may be issues that are personal, with friends or family, or early heartache. It would be easy to be overwhelmed or even pessimistic about what the future holds. But my message to you this evening is essentially a positive one. That whatever arises in the years ahead, you already have what it takes to meet those challenges. That we don't have to know and control what's ahead to have a good life. And better than that, that some of the most rewarding times in life can be when we work together with others to tackle something huge, whether an immediate crisis or longer-term challenge, and that it's in these experiences that shape us, teach us, fulfill us, and allow each of us to step into all we can be and to shine. I don't have any secret prescription for navigating life's challenges or charting a joyful life, but I've faced a few challenges in my life and I still have a lot of joy. So what I can do tonight is just share with you a few of my own experiences. To start at the beginning, I had a really stable upbringing on an orchard in the hills west of Auckland in New Zealand. We didn't have a lot of money, but I had parents who loved me and cousins around me. We could learn music and swim competitively, hike in the wilderness. There was a fabulous surf beach nearby, and we spent a lot of time in the sea. I worked hard. I did well enough to go to law school at my local university and graduate with a law degree. But most significantly, nothing really bad had happened to me by that time, and I had an awful lot to be grateful for. The first call that really changed my life came early one evening on just another Friday, when at the end of a long week of work as a young criminal prosecutor in Auckland, I was sitting around with a group of friends having an after-work drink. When I picked up the phone, Mum's voice was calm down the line. She said, "Your sister's okay, but she's been bitten by a shark in Vanuatu, and the New Zealand Air Force is flying her home." Noise dimmed and things slowed around me, a thing that happens to other people, and very rarely at that, had happened to my sister, our family, and I was in shock. It transpired that my 21-year-old sister had been attacked by a tiger shark while swimming off a yacht in the northern Vanuatu island chain in the Pacific Islands. It would change her life forever, and it changed our lives. And I want to tell you just a little bit about her story, because there were lessons that I took for it in my life that might be of interest to you. Despite losing half her blood that day from a 30-centimetre bite to her right leg, her life was saved by her own inner strength and a lot of good people doing the right thing. The first thing that saved her was her own fitness. When she went into shock, she didn't freeze, she swam. Years of competitive swim training made that instinctive. When she got to the boat, the crew hauled her on deck and used their belts as tourniquets on her leg. They weren't doctors, but they knew enough first aid to do things that helped. Locals on the remote island pitched in, and a small plane flying past stopped to take her to the hospital 150 kilometres away on another island. There, New Zealand diplomats talked to doctors and decisions were made for our Air Force to fly up and get her. It was a 4,500 kilometre round trip. Back in Auckland, trauma surgeons saved her life and saved her leg. 6 long weeks in hospital was followed by years of physical therapy, but 30 years later, she still swims, she hikes, she skis, and she has a really good life. She also wins any best scar competition. But I tell you this story because when I was young, and a couple of hard times that followed this taught me many things. One of the things it taught me was about gratitude, another was about helping others. In her recovery, my sister chose not to compare herself with friends who were still young and carefree. Instead, she focused on a woman she met doing physical therapy who was recovering from a serious car accident that had killed her partner and injured her 2 young children. That made my sister feel lucky and grateful that despite the crutches she used for a year, the ongoing surgeries and the lifelong scars, she was lucky. She also felt good about helping the other woman. The accident taught me that it's okay to change direction as well, to reconsider what you want to do, and that it's not just okay sometimes to do that, but sometimes that's the best thing to do. After the accident, my sister changed courses at university and became a journalist instead of a lawyer. She focused on marine biology, spent years making wildlife documentaries, often about sharks, and she joined a group of shark attack survivors around the world who don't hunt sharks, but they actually want to protect them. But I also changed paths at that time. After the accident, I became interested in diplomacy, and I left the criminal law to join New Zealand's foreign ministry. As one path ended, a whole new career opened up, and I really loved it. I'd always wanted to work in public service, and serving my country overseas was a dream come true. Since then, I've served in the Foreign Service in the United Kingdom and in Ireland, in Beijing and Hong Kong, in Singapore now. I represented New Zealand in the United Nations and the Commonwealth, in the World Trade Organization and many other places. I've met people from many lands and cultures and religions, and I have friends all over the world. I've worked on treaties and development projects focused on preventing conflict, fighting climate change and countering terrorism, protecting the oceans, advancing my country's economy, and looking after New Zealanders in distress overseas. Perhaps the most rewarding work I've ever done has been playing a direct role in saving New Zealanders' lives when they're in trouble overseas and bringing them home. Mostly the work is pretty serious, but there's some frivolous moments. My children weren't interested in my job until the day I had dinner with David Beckham. My own personal highlight was meeting Nelson Mandela, to shake the hand of a man who, through his own wisdom and vision, changed the course of history in a peaceful way. It was an extraordinary moment. I don't want to make it sound like the only challenges were the big ones. There were everyday challenges along the way that I think many people face. University wasn't straightforward for me. I was the first in my family to go to law school, and I arrived thinking all those rich kids had something in them that was inherent that I simply did not have. I remember missing an early assignment because I just didn't know it had been set. I'd been sick that day that it was handed out, and I didn't have friends to tell me. And in those days, there was no internet to check. My professor at the time said to me, "A loner in law school is a genius or an idiot. Go and get some friends." And so I put my head down, I worked hard, and I eventually did meet some people, and I ended up loving the law. I even managed to keep being a lawyer when I was a diplomat, doing a master's in international law later on in my career, and eventually running our legal division. So when I think of what's ahead of you as you enter the workplace, or undertake tertiary study, train in a trade, or follow other paths, some things are unique, but some are much the same. When I graduated high school, the home video recorder was a recent invention. Compact discs were the new thing, and access to the internet was a decade away. I'm so old that, as for mobile phones, I got my first when I was 30. But just as now, we were also worried about things. In New Zealand, young people were concerned about social justice. We were marching against apartheid in South Africa, fearing nuclear war because the Cold War was still raging, and there was a new fear emerging about the AIDS epidemic. While these seemed insurmountable at the time, within a few short years, the Cold War did end. Nelson Mandela was elected the first black president of South Africa, and by 1996, medicines had been developed that meant being HIV positive was no longer a death sentence. Human beings have always been able to find solutions to things. We just have to want them badly enough. The speed with which scientists around the world joined forces to create vaccines to COVID-19 was awe-inspiring. At the same time, these breakthroughs don't happen by accident. Putting our heads in the sand has never solved a problem I've ever worked on. But getting involved, studying science, working in communities, creating solutions does, and it can be fun. It doesn't matter what you choose to do, making a contribution is always worthwhile. If you're an academic genius, the world needs you. If you want to be a great full-time parent, the world needs you right now. And if you want to teach, the world really needs you right now. Over the years, the knowledge I gained from that first incident, my sister's accident, has stood me in good stead through many even harder times. Within 4 years of the accident, I'd lost my mother at 49 to cancer. My 43-year-old aunt had died in tragic circumstances, and my dad had been treated for male breast cancer. In 2010, I became a breast cancer survivor. But the things, if I think about the things that have anchored me through all the highs and lows in my life, I would say it's my values, trying to maintain my integrity. So these are my final thoughts. I didn't need a fixed path, but having a compass point helped. For me, that was the goal of loving my family, being loyal to my friends, and contributing to the world around me. It's the belief that you can get a lot in life, but if you lose your integrity along the way, it's a really hollow victory. It's important to have boundaries, particularly around those who don't respect them. But being kind and compassionate and trustworthy matters. Looking after others matters. And this one's for your parents. Manners matter. You don't have to be perfect, and I am certainly not. But whatever you choose to do going forward, and whoever you choose to be, just be a decent person. I'm incredibly inspired to be with you all this evening, and constantly in my job when I meet young people, they inspire me. It's extraordinary what you're accomplishing already, and I know that the future before you holds some really wonderful things. So I wish you all the very best. In the words of our Indigenous people again, ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Thank you for the great privilege of being with you here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rush, for those inspiring and motivating words. I would now like to invite Mihir and Dernan to host the first game of the event.
Mihir and Dunning, would you please take the stage?
Thank you, Sancha and Sophia. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mihir.
And my name is Danan. We hope that you're enjoying the event so far. Now, why don't we create a little excitement in the room, and there's no better way to do that than playing a game.
Before we start, we'd like to congratulate the graduating class. And even though it's barely been a year, I'm sure the both of us would love to be in your shoes as soon as possible.
Yeah, man, for sure. I cannot wait for the endless assignments and deadlines to meet. But in all seriousness, we would like to wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors. Now, without further ado, let's get this party started.
Today we're going to play a game called Guess Who Said It? This is a game where we will show a quote said by one of the IB teachers, and you guys will have 3 or 4 options and 30 seconds to guess which teacher says the particular quote.
We would like to request everyone to open up the Kahoot app on your phone if you have it, or go to kahoot.it or in your web browser. We will give you some time to enter the game pin, which will be showed on screen.
Our peers will be walking around to ensure that everyone is joined, so please do not hesitate to reach out to them if you encounter any issues.
We will begin the game with the first question once everyone is joined. Thank you. Miss Brownshield's phone, please.
No, it's limit reach already.
Huh?
Why does it say limit reach?
It's a limit? Oh, I didn't know that.
I forgive it. Sachi, did you join?
I know. Wait. Excuse me, I'm sorry everyone. However, there's been an issue here. We will only allow 2 people from each table to participate due to the limit that Kahoot has placed on us. So I apologize for the inconvenience. I was told to say okay. No, I'm not gonna.
Okay, Donan, go up and see has everyone joined. We'll be starting the game. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think only 1 person is just get started. Okay, one more join. One more join.
We go?
Okay, start.
If everyone's ready and if everyone's joined, we'll begin the game now. Okay. So they said wait. Okay, we will be beginning now. They can see on screen. I know. You do it then. You go. Go. I'll say people you say. Wait, can they see over there? You said it wrong.
Okay, the quote is, why did you guys even come to class?
Our options are Mr. Sai, Mr. Nu, Mr. Javier, and Mr. Govender.
Okay, the quote is, this is not a democracy.
Our options are Miss Adler, Mr. Govender, okay.
That was too easy. Binary trees.
The options are Mr. Chiron, Mr. Nu, and Mr. Govender.
Very easy reading.
The options are Miss Zarifi, Mr. Chiron, Miss Adler, and Mr. Nu.
Stay blessed, children.
The options are Liu Laoshi, Miss Bhatia, Mr. Chiron, and Mr. Nu.
Am I right, guys?
The options are Mr. Javier, Mr. Nu, Miss Zarifi, and Miss Lakshmi.
You can do better.
The options are Mr. Sai, Mr. Chiron, Miss Helani, and Miss Roy.
I hate physics.
We have Mr. Sai, Mr. Nu, Liu Laoshi, and Miss Lakshmi.
Do I look like a popular bookshop?
Our options, we have Mr. Chiron, Miss Roy, Mr. Nu, and Mr. Govender.
Complete exercise A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 5 minutes, okay, done.
We have Mr. Nu, Miss Javier, Miss Lakshmi, and Miss Paramshiu.
Now the last one, follow me and you'll get a 7.
Our options, we have Liu Laoshi, Mr. Chiron, Mr. Sai, and Mr. Nu. May we know who A is? Amal? Okay. Congratulations to everyone who won, and can we get a round of applause for the winners? Lastly, we hope that you enjoyed the game. I would like now to invite you all to help yourselves to the spread of food located outside these doors, and we would like for you to come back to your tables by 8:30. Also, the photo booth is still on, so if you wish to take more photos, please go ahead and do so. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the delectable spread of food.
These past 2 years have been taxing for you all. You guys have worked hard and absolutely deserve the diploma. However, there's one person without whom this journey would have been much more challenging. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Yes, that's right, Miss Roy. She has been around nudging you to give your best and helped you with any problem, whether educational or personal. Even though she shouts at us for the silly mistakes we make, she's always been someone who is approachable and supportive. In essence, I think it's safe to say that she's been like a second mother to us all. Now I would like to invite the Diploma Program Coordinator, Ms. Sanita Roy, to come up on stage to say a few words.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Before I begin, I would like to take this opportunity to thank a few people because this was my first year as DPC at OWIS, and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of few people. They have been my pillars of strength, and once I mention their names, please a huge round of applause for them. You know who they are. A huge round of applause for Mr. Rene, Ms. Gill, and my entire DP team, please. Honestly, I wouldn't have survived without your support. Thank you so much. So as a teacher and DPC, I have had the privilege of watching you grow and learn over the past few years. And today, as you stand here to receive your diplomas, I can't help but feel a sense of pride and joy for all that you have accomplished. Each and every one of you has brought something special to your classes and to our school community as a whole. You have shown resilience in the face of challenges, creativity in your projects, and kindness in your interactions with others. And as you move forward into the next phase of your lives, I hope that you carry these qualities with you. I know that future can seem daunting. There are so many unknowns and uncertainties, but I also know that you are capable of great things. You have the power to make a positive impact on the world, to pursue your dreams, and to do amazing things. As you go forth from this place, I want you to remember that the lessons you learned here go far beyond your classroom. You have learned the importance of hard work, of perseverance, and of treating others with kindness and respect. And as you take these lessons with you, I have no doubt that you will make this world a much better place. I want to say how proud I am of each and every one of you. I know I have been firm at times, no, most of the times, right? But I did it because I know the great heights each one of you can reach. You have worked hard to get to this day, and you have earned the right to celebrate your accomplishments. Congratulations to my batch of 2023. I can't wait to see all the amazing things that you will achieve in the years to come. Remember, no matter where you go, how old you grow, you will always be my precious little ones. And I wish you loads of luck, love, laughter, and sunshine. I will miss you all. Oh, I'm going to cry, no.
Since we love Miss Roy so much, can you just stand up and give a round of applause, please, for Miss Roy? We love you, Miss. Okay. Guys, come on, whole grade, come on.
Thank you so much, Miss Roy, for those powerful and emotive words. We are sure that it's touched everyone's hearts. And thank you to the grade 12s for that very kind gesture.
Now we'd like to invite our peers, Sarah and Daksha, onto the stage to host the next game.
Thank you, Mihir and Dernin. My name is Sarah.
And my name is Dakshit. We hope that you guys are enjoying the event so far.
So before moving on, let's go back in time to play a fun and exciting game for tonight, which is Guess That Baby. So here how it's work. We'll be showing you some adorable baby picture of our teachers, and your job is to guess who that teacher is.
Just like how you did for the first game, please open up Kahoot, and 2 people per table should join the game. And then our peers will be walking around to help you with any questions. Let me go down. Okay, what do we...
We don't have questions. We just have pictures. No, you can do it. No.
She's like, engage with the audience.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I had something. Like, you know, कुछ like बहुत obvious होगा ना.
Should we go up or?
You can just say let's start with the game.
Okay, so if everyone's in, we should now begin with the game. What do you want me to say? What a cute picture. I wonder who this is. Let's see. This could be Mr. Calvo, Mr. Rene, Mr. Sai, or Mr. Nu. Is this Miss Bhatia, Mr. Chiron, Mr. Nu, or Mr. Raj? Okay. Yeah. Miss Roy, Miss Bhatia, Miss Chaudhary, and Miss Siraj. It's fine, you know it. Miss Roy, Miss Chaudhary, Miss Siraj, or Miss Veera Singh. Miss Bhatia, Miss Veera Singh, Miss Roy, or Miss Chaudhary. Mr. Rene, Mr. Nu, Mr. Alceso, or Mr. Toussaint. Mr. Toussaint, Mr. Chiron, Mr. Calvo, or Mr. Rene. Mr. Sai, Mr. Toussaint, Mr. Rene, or Mr. Calvo. Miss Roy, Miss Chaudhary, Miss Bhatia, or Miss Siraj. Miss Siraj, Miss Kwa, Liu Laoshe, or Miss Roy. Miss Kwa. Miss Veera Singh, Miss Priya, Miss Bhatia, and Miss Roy. Miss Priya. Mr. Rene, Mr. Chiron, Mr. Nu, and Mr. Jello. Mr. Jello. Sarah. Congratulations to all the winners.
Wow, it's truly something else to see how all of our teachers have changed.
Indeed, Sarah. Mr. Nu has had a charming smile for years.
We hope that you guys had a good time playing the games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the most significant moment of our ceremony tonight.
May we invite all students to make their way to the side of the stage to get ready to receive their certificates.
Can all grade 12 students please follow me?
Tonight we celebrate the culmination of years of hard work, determination, and growth for the graduating class of 2023. And as we mark this momentous occasion, it is prudent to remember that none of this would have been possible without the guidance and the support of our teachers, as well as the school's leadership team. And of course, without the vigorous effort and the long nights put in by the impending graduates themselves. Now, this is a proud moment for us all, the teachers that helped guide all of you through this journey, regardless of how many of you actually listened. Mr. Renee, who ensured you were provided with all your required facilities. Miss Roy in particular, who has worked as hard as one can to ensure you're all not hardly working. And your parents, who have watched you all grow up and blossom into the young adults that you are today. And last but not the least, us, the grade 11s, that have looked up to you all for years and rooted for your success from the sidelines. Now, after all this talk of the end of an era, I'm sure everyone is anxiously waiting for the main event, the certificates themselves. I would like to invite the head of school, Mr. Mark Renee, up on stage to hand out the certificates to the class of 2023 and officially commence the ceremony.
Thank you.
First, we have Adelia Flipchick.
Do you have your speech prepared?
Hey everyone. I was still writing my exams yesterday, so I may or may not have used ChatGPT to help me write this. But yeah, this is very surreal. I never thought I'd actually be able to finish IB. But yes, I want to express my gratitude to our teachers and Miss Roy. It still feels like it's gonna be school on Monday, and Miss Roy will yell at us to submit another essay. So yeah, from those mind-boggling extended essays to nerve-wracking internal assessments, our teachers have been there every step of the way, pushing us, challenging us, and sometimes even saving us from a brink of a mental breakdown. We couldn't have done it without you guys. And also shout out to IB Discord, Revision Village, John Crane in Thinking, and the meme page for IB on Instagram. And of course, thank you to my parents. For the pep talks, for tolerating my incessant complaining about the workload. You believed in me even when I doubted myself, and for that I am eternally grateful. And to my IB survivors in there, you have become my second family, and we've shared laughter, tears, and probably way too much coffee. We studied together, celebrated together, and pulled all-nighters together, and survived those endless exam sessions together. We formed friendships that will withstand the test of time. And yes, the IBDP has definitely been not a walk in the park, that's for sure. And we faced challenging coursework, sleepless nights, and the occasional existential crisis. So congratulations to class of 2023. Thank you.
Now, Adrina Johnny.
One second. Okay. Okay. So after 14 years of education, I'm graduating now, and there are several people behind this success of mine. Firstly, I would like to thank my parents, my brother, and of course my former and present teachers and my friends backstage. And to all my classmates, we might not remember what we did in math or science, but the memories we made in school will always remain with me forever. Congratulations, and wish you all the very best in whatever you do in the future. I'll miss every single one of you. Thank you all.
Isla Janelle Arcueno.
I would like to start off by saying thank you to the people who have started this journey and have been with me through that whole time, my parents. I want to say thank you to my teachers who pushed me and helped me get through all the work that I needed to get through to be here on this stage. I want to say thank you to my friends who have been there through thick and thin and have supported me through everything in my life in these 4 years. And I owe everything to the people who have been around me. So thank you, and I hope that, you know, we all grow together and go together as people in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Amol Endley.
Okay, so I only have 1 minute, so I would just take this time to thank the two most important people in my life, my parents. Thank you for enrolling me in this school and giving me this opportunity for the last 4 years. I can't thank y'all enough, and I hope I make y'all proud every day, and I'll continue to do so. Everything I do is just for you guys. Thank you, and I love you.
Anisha Priya.
Much like everything else I've done for IB, this too is very last minute, and I would really appreciate an extension. But really, I'm not ready to let go of the last 4 years. To think that I will never again have the environment I've spent the last 4 years in is a little nerve-wracking. Walking in late to Mr. New's room every single day, having to get my late slips every single day, Googling homework answers on my way home, on my way to class, having our daily buffets during lunch break. And also, shout out to Arshi's mom. Auntie, you make the best biryani. But really, I'm going to miss this place, and I would not be graduating if not for all my hardworking teachers, my Miss Roy, my parents, and of course, my YouTube teachers who are working around the clock. And if I could do it all again, I probably would not. IB is not worth it. Do not send your children for this. And I look forward to our 10-year reunion. I hope I see all of you there, and you too, all my teachers too.
Arashi Dwivedi.
Honestly, I can't believe I made it. 2 years worth of learning and everything, like summed up in 3 weeks. And I would just like to thank all my teachers for putting up with me. Everyone ran behind deadlines, and Miss Roy, I would like to extend like a special thanks to you, because I think I can say it from everyone in our class that without you calling us, I don't think we would have made it to the exam room. So thank you. I want to make a special shout out to my art teacher. She taught me art in like the first grade, like the first IB year, but she's not here today. So I hope she gets this message. I also want to thank my parents. And I knew you guys were really proud at my art exhibition, but I hope seeing me here in this gown makes you even prouder. I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Tracy and Mr. Rene. Those monthly meetings and check-ins that you did, those were like just us complaining, but I'm honestly glad you did it. And I would, this is the last one, to my friends and classmates and Akabi. You guys, like, I can't believe I would have had like a better batch to do it with. But like, to be really honest, I hope I never see any of you guys in uniform ever again. Thank you.
Avantika Ramesh Kumar.
School's officially over. That means no more getting yelled at for trying hard to laugh. No more going to the food court after school. No more going to the bathroom because you're bored. No more seeing your friends every day. No more seeing your crush every day. No more waiting for school to end. No more seeing your favorite teacher. No more breaking the AV room roof. This year was actually kind of fun. Shout out to MSJ Chem, Revision Village, my friends and my family, and especially the energy drinks and the kopi at Jurong Point for the successful 2 years of sleepless nights. Long story short, we survived. Thank you.
Bunta Kamimura.
Could we do one more photo, please? Thank you.
Through the journey, 5 years journey in OWIS, I faced a lot of challenges because of my English, but I think I was able to go through all of the challenges I faced with the support of all the teachers who are with us today, here. Also, all the teachers who are not here with us, and with all the supports from my friends. So I would really like to say thank you to everyone who went through this 5 years journey with me, and also to my mom and to my dad who is not here. I want to say that 僕を育ててくれてありがとう。Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Caleb Ang.
Where do I speak though? Sorry, could we do one more photo? Thank you. We're okay. Thank you. How long does that have to be, bro? 1 minute.
1 minute?
Max.
Can it be less? Okay. Firstly, Good? Okay. So firstly, I want to say, like, I'm not prepared, so if I say anything, like, dumb, please excuse it. Anyways, I've been here since grade 2, so that's like 10 years, basically. And yeah, I want to say thank you to all the teachers who helped me, like every single one in here, because I think you guys all teached me. And yeah, and I've developed very well. And I'd like to thank my parents for always believing in me, and my friends, my friends who made IB very easy for me. And yeah, thank you.
Darsha Shamkumar.
Hi, I'm Darsha. To be very honest, I didn't prepare much for this speech because my last exam was yesterday. So I went home, I slept for a while, and then I went out, of course. I want to thank all the teachers who have made my journey at One World Okay, so that went great. I think it's kind of awkward that we all showed up in the same outfit today. Thank you.
Harish Balamurali Mithili.
So hi, I'm Harish. Yeah, that's been a more common introduction now. I remember the first day of my first day in OWIS, like it was day before yesterday. I don't remember everything, but but I remember some of the part of it. Yeah, and I would like to thank all the teachers who have put up with me for like 1.5 years straight. All the 7 days of the week, they had to update me in like at 12 in the night at some point. My parents, for pushing me to my limits. Sometimes I crack, sometimes I don't. So my teachers, Ms. Roy, for encouraging me to go further. So yeah, I thank my teachers, my parents, and Ms. Roy. Yeah, thanks.
Iris Catalina Tobar Cordoba.
Hello, everyone. I can't believe I'm finally graduating. And I don't know what to say, just that I'm very happy and very thankful for everyone, all my teachers, my friends, my family. Thank you, Mom, for always being there for me. Yes, thank you for everything, for providing me this opportunity of studying in Singapore. 2 years ago, I was living in Spain, and I would have never imagined that I would graduate in Singapore. I've learned so many things from culture, from, I don't know, many things that I will use in my life. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. And it makes me a bit emotional to acknowledge the fact that we're not kids anymore. We're grown-ups. Well, we're like young adults now that we're going to face a life. And I don't know. Thank you so much for everything. And yes, we're graduating.
Juliana Isabella Mecklang.
I would like to thank everyone that supported me these past few years. I would like to thank my teachers, those who stayed, those who left, and all of those that taught me before, whether it be in IB or not. Thank you, because without you all, I would not have had the knowledge nor the skills that got me here and got me through exams. Thank you to my friends who stuck with me all throughout, who I suffered and enjoyed this time with. Thank you everyone for all the memories. These past 2 years, I've had the most fun that I've had, and that wouldn't have been possible if everyone didn't want to do CAS together. And most of all, last but not least, thank you to my family, to my parents, to my brother, to my cousins and my titos and titas. Thank you for all the support that you've given me. Thank you to my parents for raising me. Because without your sacrifices, I wouldn't be able to stand here in front of you today. Thank you.
Kavi Upadhyay.
As most of you would know, I'm a relatively new student. I joined in grade 11 here, and most of my friends have been here since like grade 8 and grade 9. And to be honest, what I expected from a typical international school here was all the usual high school drama. Division of students according to popularity, student faction, and all that. But that was not the case. Everyone here behaved as if they were a part of a big extended family, and when I came here, I didn't feel left out at all. All of you welcomed me as if as if I was a part of this family, and today I stand here on this podium graduating from this high school, getting ready to start a new chapter of my life. But the hardest part about this is going to be getting ready to leave all of this behind. Huge thank you to all of you who have helped me through this journey, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Lin Tant Ong.
First off, I would like to thank my parents for sending me here, because back in my home country, things are like politically unstable. So I'd like to thank them for sending me here and providing me with funds to make sure that I'm living here comfortably and able to study. Second, I'd like to thank One World International School for allowing me to study here, as I was able to learn and gain numerous experiences that I would not be able to get in other places. I also would like to thank all my subject and non-subject teachers for providing me guidance and also for helping me with things when I needed help. I also would like to thank all my friends and classmates, as I was able to have a very fun academic year with them, and they were able to provide me with new experiences. Thank you.
Lucy Roxanne Ronchieto.
I don't really have anything prepared, but I just want to say that I'm very happy for all of us, and we actually did it. We completed the IB. We went from planning our seniors grad last year to being on stage and graduate, so yay, congrats to us. Thank you.
And now for co-valedictorian Madhav Arora.
This program was very tough, no doubt, but with everything, there are good times and bad times. I'm having a hard time remembering the good bits right now, is mostly very bad. But I'm glad to have accomplished this. I want to thank my parents, my brother, my friends, and also Miss Roy. And most importantly, I want to thank ChatGPT for making this speech. Thank you so much.
Ritika Sushil Parakal.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I would just like to thank my teachers and classmates for creating such wonderful memories for me in OWIS, my family for always supporting me, and Miss Roy, thank you for being the best IB coordinator because we would not have been able to do it without you. Lastly, congrats to the class of 2023. We made it.
Sachi Doda.
I've been at OWIS since grade 7, so it has practically seen me grow. I've been very lucky to have some teachers who have guided me throughout my entire journey and to whom I practically owe my diploma. I also want to say thank you to my friends who made the entire IB journey a tad bit more enjoyable. Finally, I would also like to say a big thank you to both my parents and my sister, whom I love a lot. Sorry. You guys have been with me through all my ups and downs, and I'm so very grateful for all of you. Love you. Thank you.
Shivenzo Dolmaus.
All right, so I actually realized that I should have prepared something, and I didn't, but first of all, I want to thank teachers and friends, of course, but I want to thank God that I'm here and doing school, of course. And thank you for just being here anytime and believing in me even though I didn't believe in myself. And I would just end off with 2 quotes. First one, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. Trust me, I really tried, and it really didn't work. But another one is, for all the males out here, in life it's happy wife, happy life, but in OWIS it's happy Miss Roy, happy life. Thank you.
Shri Charan Vinod Kumar.
Hello. I've been in the school for close to 5 years, but I think most of my core memories were made in grade 12. Starting off my physics classes, where we talk about electricity and magnetism, and end up talking about time travel and debates with my friends. Chemistry classes and Spanish classes where we sang Spanish songs rather than learning Spanish, but that made it fun. Yeah. Other than that, I think more than the students, the teachers are gonna miss us the most because it probably was the best batch. We were all close together. Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Stasia Megan D'Souza.
Good evening to our guests, principal, all the faculty, parents, and my fellow graduates who are currently backstage. Firstly, I would like to thank all the teachers that have guided me throughout my time in OWIS since grade 8. You guys have been incredible role models to all of us. And I would like to say a special thanks to Miss Roy for all your hard work and dedication. You're like our second mother. Now, for my actual parents, thank you for always supporting me in all my decisions and for always believing in me. I love you both. And to the class of 2023, I'm immensely proud of each and every one of us. Even though the last 2 years doing IB have been tough and painful at times, we have always found a way to have fun, dance, laugh, cry, and make the most of our years. And I'm gonna miss you all so much. Thank you and congratulations.
Vidhi Sharma.
It went by so fast, just like our parents said it would. Over the past few years, high school almost felt like a never-ending adventure. But now I realize that it actually ends. I wish someone had warned me that oddly enough, saying goodbye to your friends isn't the hardest part. Because let's be honest, it's not the final goodbye. Not yet anyways. The hardest part is coming to terms with the fact that we will never see Miss Roy running around school telling us to submit our EEs, the weird Christmas tree in the study room, and Miss Suruchi telling us how to meditate. The hardest part is that slowly it will all become memories and stories that we'll tell our kids. But for now, as Taylor Swift said, you're on your own, kid. I'd like to congratulate you all for making it. We did it, class of 2023. I guess all the all-nighters were worth it. A special thank you to Mr. Renee and all my teachers who helped me along the way. My parents who supported me for all my decisions. I love you, Neelam and Rajiv. And lastly, my best friends, Ritika, Stasia, Dhwani, Charan, Madhav, Amol, Adrina, Shivenzo, Kavi, and Caleb, and also the rest. Thank you.
Yashodhan Vedya.
Hi, okay, so I don't have much to say because just like my other assignments, I did this last minute. Firstly, I'm thankful to my parents who have supported me all these years and especially the last few years. Secondly, I would like to thank my teachers for their guidance throughout the course. And a special thanks to Miss Roy for scolding us and making us complete everything on time. And lastly, I'm grateful for all my friends here, Ritika and Sarah, who I've known since kindergarten. So that makes me feel really old. And also the others who I've known more recently. You all have played an important part in my life, and I'll cherish all the memories we've had. And I love you all. Okay, bye.
And finally, our co-valedictorian, Yeonwoo or Ruby Lim.
Good evening, everyone. I am experiencing a mix of emotions as I stand here today to celebrate our graduation. Just 2 days ago, my final exams ended, and for some of us, it was just yesterday. So everything really hasn't sunk in yet. You see, for the past 2 years, the IB program has somewhat served as my identity, my personality, and perhaps even the purpose of my life. But I realized that this phase of our lives, as intense and demanding as it was, has now come to an end. And while I may feel a sense of emptiness, I also feel an overwhelming sense of joy and accomplishment. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our dedicated teachers, members of the school, our proud parents who have guided us with constant support and encouragement. Once again, I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of our incredible journey. Congratulations, class of 2023.
I'd like to pass the mic on to the diligent and sedulous co-valedictorians, Madhav Arora and Ruby Lim, followed by a few words by our very own charismatic school president, Amol Endle. Seems like they're still getting out of the mood.
Good evening, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members, and proud parents. And most importantly, the graduating class of 2023. Today, as I have the privilege of standing before you as the valedictorian of our graduating class, I feel honored and humbled to address you all in this special occasion. This day signifies the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. And I would like to sincerely congratulate each and every one of you for successfully completing this remarkable journey. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude to our parents. They have been our pillars and support from the very beginning, providing us with the necessary encouragement and guidance. Let us take a moment and applaud to thank our parents for their unwavering support and unconditional love. Growing up, my parents never imposed unrealistic expectations or pressured me to excel academically. Instead, they created an environment where I was encouraged to pursue my passions and create my own goals. Therefore, the driving force behind my achievements has always been the high standards I set for myself. And I will always be appreciative of their faith in me, their guidance, and their endless support along my academic journey. While my dad and sister couldn't be here with us today, I know they would be extremely proud of me. My dad, who always works hard for our family, and my sister, who is currently pursuing her dreams in Korea. They have been constant sources of inspiration and motivation, and I would like to thank them. I would also like to thank my mom for her love and devotion. She has been waking me up at 2 a.m. during exam season for the past 4 years. And of course, a special mention to my aunt and my cousin who is also here today. 엄마, 아빠, 동생, 그리고 이모랑 현서까지 항상 너무 고맙고 사랑합니다. Throughout our journey, we have encountered numerous challenges, particularly as we completed the demanding IB program. The seemingly endless stress, staying up nights to meet our deadlines, and the occasional moments of self-doubt. We have experienced it all. Despite these challenges, there's one remarkable individual that stands out. Our IB coordinator, Ms. Roy. I am reminded of a quote by her that perfectly captures the essence of our experience. This is not a democracy. I am the IB. And also, you don't sleep for 6 days and then collapse. That is IB. Such words by Ms. Roy have become iconic and one of the most memorable moments of our IB adventure. Ms. Roy's dedication and sacrifice for all of us have made a lasting impact and is probably the only reason why we're all here today with everything submitted on time. Let us take a moment to express our appreciation for Ms. Roy's effort in ensuring that we had the opportunities we deserved. As the class of 2023, we have made our mark at OWIS, excelling academically and showcasing our talents in various CAS activities as a group. We organized donations and we participated in school dances as a grade. However, what truly sets us apart is the unity we have created among our friend groups throughout the IB program. Despite the academic demands, we have dissolved the divisions between our friend groups and come together as a united group. The sense of togetherness and unity has become a testament for our shared struggles and success. Also, let us not forget the incredible teachers and members of the school who have played a vital role in shaping our academic journey. Their dedication, knowledge, and belief in our potential has helped us realize our own abilities to guide us as individuals, the individuals we are today. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Rene and Dr. Tracy for their consistent support in ensuring the well-being of our grade, their open-mindedness to feedback, and their continuous efforts to enhance our IB experience. I would also like to personally thank Chen La Shi, Liu La Shi, Ms. Adler, Mr. Chiron, Mr. Jason, Mr. Govender, Mr. Sai, Ms. Paul, and Mr. Lim, who have provided guidance for me both inside and outside the classroom. Congratulations once again to the class of 2023. As we step into the future, let us seize the opportunities that lie ahead and keep expanding our boundaries to our full potential. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Ruby. It's going to be fun to see how I followed that up. Hi, I'm glad everyone's enjoying themselves, and I just want to say thank you to whoever made the smart decision to send her first. It was me, first of all. I was like, I'm going to do some good damage here while I'm here. So, truth be told, I literally wrote this speech an hour ago, and some might say that's bad planning, but I think I'm showing one of the key components of an IB student. Having the balls to submit an assignment 1 hour before the deadline, that's what I do. Yep. At the start, though, when we started the program, I had this bit of pessimism in me that when I first saw the size of our batch, I saw it was like merely 25 students, so I was thinking that, oh, it'd be so much more fun if there was like more people in bigger classes. And after spending these 2 years with you guys, I don't think that's true at all, and I don't think it's necessary to have a bigger class to be able to have more fun. So firstly, having that familiarity with you, I think was the biggest thing that I ever experienced in this batch. I think it created a sense of unity, like Ruby said, and it's true. I think even leave the past 2 years that we've done the IB, this exam season proved how together we were. For example, it was really funny to see us convincing each other that the boundaries have to go down after those papers. Shout out that business paper, section C. Whoever knows, they know. It was also really funny coming out of the math paper and looking at my friends and being like, that was shit. I'm sorry for my language. But alongside you guys, I thank our teachers as well, who really helped us make it this far. So thank you to all of you guys. And shout out Mr. Jello for keeping me well fed with his overly priced protein bars. And most importantly, shout out to the MVP of the IB program, Miss Roy. Miss, we love you, and we're very sorry for giving you all those heart attacks with unsubmitted assignments, because we know you worry for our future more than we do. So, Miss, honestly, you are perfect, but the only thing I don't like about you is that you're married to someone else already. Okay, I've had enough flirting, I'll wrap this up. So IB was definitely horrible. It's a tough course, and there's no two ways about it. But we're done, we did it together, and I know for a fact that wherever we all go, we'll achieve great things. So until next time, let's keep doing that. And by the way, I don't care if it's in 5 years or maybe 10, you all better show up at the reunion. Cheers.
Now we would like to call Amol to the stage as our elected school president.
Good evening, everyone. I would first like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Roy for allowing me to speak. I'm going to be honest with all of you. While writing this speech, I was stuck. I didn't know where or how to start. There's just so much that has happened in the past 4 years that 5 minutes is not enough to encapture it. So I thought to myself, Amol, raw or nah? You know, I realized if this is the last time I get to speak to all of you together, I'm gonna give you all the real me. No sugarcoating, just me addressing my peers and my teachers. Class, look around you. We made it. It's our graduation. Exactly 1 year ago, we were hungover, helping out at the graduation for the previous batch. Thinking to ourselves, we'll be in their position in a year. And just like this, grade 12 happened. We've reached the finish line of high school. As a class, we've been through it all. COVID, the lockdown, Mr. Turson, and much more. No matter how painful those times were, looking back, they're just a bunch of memories that crack me up every time I mention them. All that turmoil has just turned into some iconic moments to remember. I still remember when Mr. Turson kicked a few of us out of class because we weren't ready for science. And somehow, we ended up locking him out of class. I had a week of detention with Shivenzo and a few friends, where all we did was ab workouts with Mr. Fernandez. Over the years, we've had our phases. There was the cringy TikTok phase. Some of you have not left it. The first girlfriend. The second girlfriend. The third girlfriend. Never mind, that was just Shivenzo. There was the I deserve better phrase. And it all comes down to realizing that you're the problem. Throughout these 2 years, we've grown and learned numerous things about ourselves. Apparently I'm toxic, whatever that means. IB has tested us, made us cry, and sometimes even wonder, why on earth am I doing all this? Nevertheless, we have all been able to make it out in one piece, but it wasn't done alone. I say we owe a big thank you to ChatGPT, MSJ Chem, Revision Village, and our savior, the organic chem tutor. But seriously though, I speak on behalf of our grade when I say this. Teachers, thank you so much for your guidance and support over the years. You guys really are the unsung heroes in our journey. Thank you for being with us daily and pushing us to our limits. Mr. Renee, we sincerely thank you for constantly checking up on us and implementing the changes we want in the school. But sir, you didn't come and watch the basketball game. Miss Roy, what can we say? There's not enough words or actions that we can do to show how much we appreciate you and how much you'll be missed. We love you, Miss Roy. One thing is for sure, none of us would be here without you. Class, although we have come to the end of our high school journey, there's plenty for us to look forward to. Most of us will be going our separate ways, but always remember the precious relationships we've formed with each other over the years. Take these memories and life lessons you've learned and take life head on. Challenge yourself. Make it known that you might fail. Along the way, maybe you feel like giving up or even quit, but it's all part of the journey. Push yourself to be a better version than you were yesterday. It will be tough, but never forget the friends you've made in this country. This is the place which you once called home. As we part ways, I want all of you to remember, wherever your pencil takes you, you are the author, editor, and the main character of your own story. It's just time to flip to the next page and start writing our new chapter in life. Class, I thank all of you for giving me the best 4 years of my life. IB was tough, but I mean it when I say that you guys are the only ones I'd want to do it with. All of you hold a very special place in my heart. I wish all of you the best of luck in whichever path you decide to walk. Always remember to push yourself and know that people come, people go, people learn, people grow. You can either be phenomenal or be forgotten. Thank you, class of 2023.
Thank you for those entertaining and very helpful speeches. My peers and I are surely making hurried notes of what we should be doing in the following year to emulate even a fraction of your successes. Now please, as we come to the end, or closer at least, I would like to acknowledge the role the head of school played in your tumultuous but fruitful IB journey. Mr. Renee is an integral part of the school community, and his tireless dedication to the betterment of education the school provides has been truly inspirational. All the Fridays that he took precious time off of his schedule to come and hear out the grade 12's grievances. Under his leadership, our school has continued to strive. We are all truly fortunate to have him at the helm. It is my distinct pleasure to invite him to say a few words and address the graduates. Mr. Renee, if you'd please.
It's very hard to follow up after such wonderful speakers. First of all, good evening, honorable guests, parents, students, and colleagues. First of all, before I start, I want to thank the team behind planning this graduation, our grade 11 students. They did an amazing job. It's a wonderful thing when a school has traditions, and I think this is a tradition that makes us really special, that our grade 11 students plan, support, and celebrate our grade 12 students. I think next year we should have the grade 10s join us, because the bar you've set, the grade 10s need to know. So a big round of applause to our grade 11 students. Thank you. I also want to mention that there are parents involved supporting these grade 11 students who don't ever get acknowledged, but I thank them as well for the late nights and hard work in supporting them to celebrate our grade 12 students. So a big round of applause to those parents. I think you know who you are. In conversation yesterday with Shivenzo, after he finished his last exam, I was reminded that you, our graduating class, our mature and proud graduating class, our school leaders, are still only 17 or 18 years old. It shocked me a little because you all conduct yourself in such a mature manner when you're out around the school and being the leaders of the school. That revelation made me think about what are some other things that you share your birth year with. So I did a bit of research. And apparently YouTube started in 2005, just as most of you were being born. This means that when you were being born, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no Snapchat, and in fact, the pervasiveness of social media into our lives was very minimal in 2005. Even Facebook was in its infancy, and we were still all struggling to understand the purpose of early social media platforms such as Friendster and MySpace. That is amazing to think about. You are one of the first groups of students to truly be exposed to social media and its positive and negative effects. I think we all know the positive impact it's had on our world. It has made communication more effective. It has shrunk our world and brought us closer together. It's broken down borders. It's opened up our eyes to the kaleidoscope of human culture. It has been responsible for tremendous social and political change and has empowered your generation in a way that no other generation has been empowered before. But we also know the negative impact it has had as well. One of those has been the growing concern that it's having a negative impact on the connections that we make and the relationships that we foster. We are regularly confronted by articles telling us how it's affecting the well-being of your generation, Generation Z, how it's spurring a crisis that we need to address, how this generation is disconnected from each other, how they spend too much time online. This is not something I see when I look at you, our graduates. I know that it's not an accurate reflection of who you are. So I wanted to find out. Last week, I had the opportunity to look at your anonymous responses to a survey that we sent you during your time at OWIS. The survey asked you, what you'd remember from your time at OWIS, and also what you would take with you moving forward. What struck me the most about your responses were how different a picture you painted than the picture that is put forward by news articles about your generation. I want to share a few thoughts with you, your own thoughts. I want to share it with the audience today. Your fondest memories, life bonds, people who I can rely on, the friends I've made, the close-knit bond, working and playing together, friends that I consider family, organizing and planning events together. Your responses to what you will take with you forward, what you've learned at OWIS that you'll bring forward in the future, the importance of learning new languages, being more outgoing. Communication is key. Kindness and empathy are key in collaboration. The importance of good relationships, the importance of inclusivity, the importance of friendship and organizations, the importance of making meaningful connections. I felt exceptionally proud when I read your comments. It reflected that you had all developed the values that we hold true here at OWIS. Respect for diversity and international mindedness, communication, and kindness and compassion. You did not just develop it, you have made these values a part of who you are, and you intend to continue to practice them as you go into the world. So the same students who were one of the first groups of children to grow up in a world immersed in social media, members of the generation that we're being told is facing a crisis because of social media, these students, our proud graduates of OWIS, have developed the values that will allow them to thrive in that environment because they understand the importance of meaningful connections, because you understand the importance of respect for diversity and the importance of kindness and compassion. In embracing these values as members of this Generation Z, you teach all of us a lesson. The world will always move forward and progress. Technology will develop, and the world will change in ways that we cannot envision. But as long as you, our students, our children, are prepared with the necessary skills, and more importantly, the necessary values, they will thrive, they will succeed, they will make a positive impact on the world around them. You have made us proud, OWIS class of 23. Now go out into the world, taking what you've learned here at OWIS, and thrive, and succeed, and make a positive impact on your world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rene, for those insightful and motivational words. No one else could have said it better. Now, graduates, as you prepare to enter this new phase of your lives, it's time to shed the old and embrace the new. So if you'd all please stand up and assemble at the front of the stage in height order and get ready for the hat tossing ceremony.
So to the grade 12 graduates, can we please have the tallest in one row at the back, the second tallest in one row in the middle, and then the shortest at the front?
Yeah, Miss Roy and Miss Rene, but let them settle down first.
Could we have Miss Roy and Mr. Rennie to the front of the stage, please?
What am I saying? Please. You ready? Are you ready? Not everyone's ready.
Okay, all ready?
Still want to be in OWIS? Okay, see you on Monday.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
We declare you the
Class of 2023 as graduates.
graduates. 3, go! I think we did a good job there, but it's okay because they had it, and it was nice to see it cascading. It's nice to see it cascading.
My this batch, they really like you, They really like you.
Roy, I don't think anyone can compare it to what the impact you have on these children.
Thank you.
You have such an incredible impact on them.
Thank you.
I'm very lucky to have you as my supporter. I really am.
Ma, when you go to Hannah, you open
I am. I told you already. I will. I'm happy to take you in, but I don't think OWIS can do it without you. These children love you. The 11s love you as well.
No, another 1 year. And then I want to move out.
I'm really proud of you. You should be really proud of yourself. You really should. I've never seen a group of students talk about a teacher that way. That's the impact you've had on them.
Thank you. But honestly, I wouldn't have survived without your
Where to? Together. We got to together.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm going to pass this back to you.
Real. I'm so proud.
Can we just like telegraph? I'm sure you are all excited and looking forward to mingling and reveling in your reveling in your newfound positions. That's what I said. However, if you could all please take your seats so we could commence with the ceremony, please.
Just a few more activities and then you can have photo taking afterwards. If you could all please move to your seats.
My guy from Zaya, he came up to me and he said food.
Okay, sure. Okay, in the spirit of it being your last day, please continue to mingle, but if we could please get your attention because there are a few more activities that we'd like to do. Okay. Just a few more activities. You can all stay here if you want to. It's no biggie, but just some attention. Thank you. Congratulations, and I would now like to pass the mic on to Daniela and Rohan for our third and final activity of the night that I'm sure you will all enjoy.
It's okay for now, they can stay here.
Hello, class of 2023. For the last time, I have the privilege of shouting at y'all. Take your positions, please. Take your positions, all of you. We have something more for y'all. Come on, faster. Not over there. Line up over there. Guys. No, cannot. Okay, line up over there, please. Hello, line up, all of you. Hello. Line up not here. How will you climb the stage from here? Go and line up over there. 2023. You still have to listen to me. Hello. Adele. Hi. Can you please go and line up? Faster. Okay. All these selfie. Hey, hello. Join later. Okay, very nice. Okay, now we start. I love you all, okay? I love you too.
We would like to once again congratulate the class of 2023 on graduating.
Although you all have your diplomas now, we would like to recognize your talents and quirks outside of academics before the evening is over. So as is tradition in many high schools, each of you has been given a superlative chosen with love by Miss Roy. When we call out your name, please come up on stage one last time to receive the certificate and then return to your seat. Adelia, for having the best shoulder to cry on. Adrina, for having the cutest smile. Amal, for being the most athletic. Anisha, for being the most likely to write the next New York Times #1 bestseller. Arushi, for being the most sociable. Avantika, for being the most unique. Bunta, for being the most coordinated. Caleb, for being the most likely to be late to their own wedding. Darsha, for having the best prom outfit. Darsha, for having the best prom outfit. Harish, for having the most upbeat attitude. Catalina, for being the best dressed. Juliana, Isla, and Shaman for having the sweetest friendship. Kavi, for being the most likely to brighten up your day. Lynn, for being the most likely to sleep through an earthquake. Lucy, for having the best celebrity look-alike. Madhav, for being the most likely to go on to be the CEO of a Forbes 100 company. Ritika for being the most dependable. Ritika for being the most dependable. Sachi for always lending a helping hand. Shivenzo for being the most unforgettable. Shricharan for always being involved. Stasia for being the most likely to star in their own reality TV show. Vidhi for being the life of the party. Yashodan for always having a story to tell. And Ruby for being both the beauty and the brains.
Could the grade 12s please return to their seats? Could I welcome Kathy to the stage to present a little video for everyone?
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy, and we sincerely hope you've had a good time tonight, from the good food to the inspiring words to the many drinks. As the evening is coming to a close, we'd like to cap it off with two videos, one of our graduating batch, and the other with messages to the class of 2023 from the teachers. Many thanks to Sanche for creating these videos to celebrate all the memories we've made over the past 2 years. Without further ado, enjoy. Well, it looks like all of you enjoyed the videos. Just one thing first.
So on each of your tables, there's a yearbook, there is a pendant, and there's a little hat, all of which you can take home. There is something inside the hat, and your name tags and your parents' name tags have a QR code on the back, which are little personalized presentations for each of you. I would also like to invite Mr. New on stage to read his poem, which he wrote for everyone. It's also on the back of each of your yearbooks.
I didn't know this was published. Okay, the title is Universe City. With passion, pride, and promise, you pull pages instead of hairs. Wrap skin around ink, think instead of dream. What's all this thesis about? I ace, a thorn in my side, pulling my insides as I sit, squirm, and scramble for deadlines. I now hold the world in my hands, or is it the reverse? A flashback for fools, silent soliloquies, I turn blood into ink. My nights and days, a miasma of organized chaos. I punch and punctuate above my weight. Books that used to prowl my mind now are splintered words, trying to make sense of the thought fox, sniffing away at the edges of ideas. When shall we three meet again? Two roads diverging, and I at the crossroads, the precipice, taking it all in, the moments, the madness that is Universe City. Thank you.
I will. I'll do it in my speech.
Hey, hello. Okay. Class of 2023. What are you supposed to do when I speak? Okay, so these are your certificates. Please, Adrina, I'll just give these out. Ailha, please can you come and take, sweetie? Amol, Anisha, Arushi, Avantika, Avantika, Bunta, Caleb, Darsha, for finally graduating, okay. Harish, Kata, Juliana, Kavi, Lynn, Lucy, Madhav, Ritika, Sachi, Shivenzu, Charan, Stasia, Vidhi, Yashodhan, Ruby, and this is Ailhas.
It's up to you. I'll just do it. What's happening, miss? Okay.
I don't have. Miss, I wrote one for you. Yeah. Okay. You the one for her. Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, lucky your husband didn't come. Okay, okay. It's in Hindi, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, fine, okay. अर्ज किया है आपके बिना दिन बीते तो लगता है ख्वाब टूट जाएंगे आपके बिना दिन बीते तो लगता है ख्वाब टूट जाएंगे एक बार देख लो हमारी तरफ पलट के हम तो वहीं पे मर जाएंगे वे आपकी मुस्कुराहट इतनी प्यारी वो दुनिया का गुरूर है आपकी मुस्कुराहट इतनी प्यारी वो दुनिया का गुरूर है आपकी अच्छाइयाँ तो अच्छी लगती हैं लेकिन आपके गुनाह भी मुझे कबूल है शारा क्या था It's I don't get it.
To the parents that have driven here, we do have parking coupons. So can you please approach Miss Delia, who's in the sparkly black dress? She does have your parking coupons. And the grade 12s do have to return your gowns. So after the ceremony ends, could we please ask you to go into that room, take off your gowns, put them on the hangers in the correct sizes, please. And you are allowed to take your pictures off of these walls, these two. You do have your portraits, which you are allowed to take home. Thank you.
Before you all leave, I'd like to say a few closing words on behalf of our graduation committee. Okay, first off, to our class of 2023, one more congratulations on finally graduating. It's taken a great deal of commitment and perseverance to do all of that, and you've all come out the other side mostly unscathed. Moving forward, you'll face lots of challenges and find more opportunities, but you won't face this alone. You have lifelong friends with you tonight, and your bonds will help you weather anything the future throws at you. However, it's a good thing the future isn't going to throw anything at you right now, so take a well-deserved rest. There's no more deadlines to haunt you or Miss Roy to chase you down now. Additionally, we'd like to say some thanks. Thank you to the class of 2023 for making us proud, and to Ruby, Madhav, and Amal for your speeches. Thank you to all the family members and teachers for guiding and supporting our graduating batch, tough as it may have been. Many thanks to Miss Roy and Mr. Renee, Mr. Renee for lovely speeches and for helping the grade 12s at every turn. Thank you to Miss Rush for a lovely speech. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Miss Gill, Miss Goldie, Miss Goldie, Miss Homan, and everyone else who helped us make this possible. Finally, I'd like to invite the rest of the graduation committee to come on stage. It was our pleasure to organize this for you, and we hope you enjoyed your evening. Once again, thank you all for attending, and all the best to our class of 2023.